Sounds like something is wrong. Do you want to talk about it?
Sure.
Did something happen, or you're just not feeling? Because I'm just waking up and I'm thawing out. So
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess a few things. Um, I shaved my head on
yeah,
last Monday.
yeah, looks good.
It's all right.
Are you disappointed?
I'm just still coming to terms with it. I
Yeah.
actually thought that this would hide the fact that my hair was thinning, but it's actually it kind of you can actually kind of see now even more, right, if I tilt my head down. You see how
Hmm.
like it's like a different color and thinner up here than it is on the
Yeah.
sides.
But the leap wasn't that big, meaning you already had short hair. It's not like I shaved my hair, so you took like an inch off. So from my perspective, I mean, I barely notice it. Not
That's
not
actually
not in a bad way.
Yeah, that's what most people are saying. But
Yeah,
from my perspective, I notice it a lot.
of course, of course. Yeah.
We're our own biggest critics.
Yes, we take a black light to ourselves every
We take
day.
it I take a black light and there's
Stains.
undesirable stains. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But I will say that I posted about it because Kristen was here and we made a video, and
Hmm.
the response was overwhelmingly positive,
Mm.
and especially from gay men.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have a one of my good friends. He's gay, and he has been telling me for years, dude, chop your fucking hair. I hate the man bun. I mean, he's blunt about it, and I won't do it. But I don't know if it's just him or if it's kind of a communal thing. Um, Gay people love the clean cut, short hair.
I asked a friend what the deal is, and he said, well, you're hot. And I said, well, it's got to be more than that. And he said, well, it's also maybe when gay men spot vulnerability or insecurity, they band together to prop up the dude.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Be- because they're already a little marginalized, right? They sort of
Yeah.
so they like are just pro making people feel included and loved.
Yes. Um, I kind of wish I was a gay man.
Do you though?
Not in the 80s, but today, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, they support each other and
Yeah, but
yeah.
you got a nice wife and a kid, and you
Yeah,
you you can still get supported by gay men without being gay,
that's true. That's true.
right? Like you got your guy. I mean, he's telling
He's
you to
not
chop your.
supporting me at all. That's the thing.
Well, he is. He's trying to say, hey, John, maybe it's time, to think about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's trying to do what he thinks is good for me, but we disagree. Um,
So that's
Sean and
one
I,
thing. Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. So
No,
that's
no,
one
no.
thing. I don't want to minimize that. That's a big deal. I think a lot of people will say, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal. Minimize it." But I'm a hair guy, and so I'm fascinated with hair. I get obsessed with hair. So that's a big deal, of course.
Some people have said, yeah, it's not a big deal. Get over yourself, or like we
Yeah,
don't even see your hair, which is like kind of sweet, but I think it is important to validate it.
sure,
Right. And
sure.
this is funny. The funniest comment I got is this woman was like, oh, it's so funny. Like I saw what you were saying, but I was watching it on mute. Right. And I could tell that you were like really passionate about it. And then when I unmuted it, I realized you were just talking about your hair.
Mm,
And in a time like when one of the biggest things is happening for the United States, right? Kamala Harris is going to be
right.
nominated for Democratic presidential nominee candidate, and so like that's more important than hair. And like, sure, in the grand scheme of things, yes, but
Yes.
in like the microcosm that is my world, I care a lot more about my hair on a regular basis than maybe that makes me sound like an idiot.
No,
Actually,
no, 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 it doesn't. And I was going to say, why can't both be true? Why can't you care about Kamala and also, or why can't you care about the macro as well as the micro? And you're just being honest. So it's
yeah.
real. It's real,
It's hard.
man.
It's
Yeah.
hard being honest, though. Sometimes, people are just like, "Wow,
Judgy.
yeah." It's just
Yeah.
such a vain or shallow
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Of course.
self-centered viewpoint. Like, who cares about your hair, man? Like, we're going through major, you
Yeah.
know, like upheavals in U.S. society and world society, and you're like, "Yeah, okay, but how much can I do to actually affect that?"
Also, there's more to your life than just that. You know. So
That
it's cumulative. It's collective.
it is, and there's more to my life than just like how I feel about my hair.
Yes.
Like I'll feel bummed about it, and then I'll just move on to the next thing.
Yeah. So that's one thing, and then what's something else that's kind of bumming you out, or why the?
Well, so this is not really bumming me out, but it's all kind of connected and complex. But you were definitely right about X's nudes. You were on the right side of Instagram. I was definitely on the wrong side of
Oh,
Instagram.
what happened? Sean, you got to start reading your comments, man. I have a feeling that you got some
I can't. I mean, I
lemons
can't.
coming at you.
The
What
whole
happened?
thing is
Yeah.
connected to me reading comments and like how I'm being perceived.
Oh,
It's
okay.
hard.
That's the theme. Yes, that is hard. That is hard. And also, hey, listen, it's your community, and so I could imagine there's a part of you that, of course, cares what your community thinks, and they matter. And also there is some leverage. They could hurt your feelings, of course. And then there's a part of you that's like, I shouldn't care about this. It's my feed. I get to post whatever I want. I have my own opinions.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, some of
lots of
it,
strong opinions, yes, in the
a lot
comment
of strong
section.
opinions,
Yeah.
and some of it is constructive, and that's great. And others are just trolls and haters, and it doesn't
Yeah,
matter
of
what
course.
you say. They're gonna, call you a creepy loser and a red flag, and call you a fucking, I don't know, a misogynist or all sorts of weird shit. And so you have to like parse out that stuff, or you could do what
Yeah.
John does and just not read it, which is
Dude, I've lost thousands of followers once. Almost got my version of being canceled for
the nutsack thing.
no, not the nutsack. So that one, that was a very interesting. That was on the fence. The tanning my taint, and I lost a ton of followers. But it was a post that I reposted about my non-negotiable of beige underwear. Like, I don't like women who wear beige underwear.
Oh,
Now here's what's
yeah.
interesting. I posted it first like 2015, and it was just funny, and it was light. It wasn't that big of a deal. And I took that exact same post because I'm in syndication. I regurgitate on much.
Yeah.
And I posted that like I think a year ago, and the fucking comment section. I mean, I get it though. It's a different time, and this is proof of that. They're like, "Who the fuck are you to tell women what underwear to wear?" And I get it. I didn't know that it was going to have that response. And because I never read my comments, my friends, I got like 7 texts from different friends saying, "Dude, are you seeing what's happening on your feed?" And I went down, and it was like, dude, thousands. And then I lost thousands of people too. And I sat with it, and I said, they're right. They're
Yeah.
right. This doesn't fly now, right? It might have flown in the 90s or when I posted it first, but it's not appropriate. And I don't think as a man, any should when it comes to like women should, it doesn't, that's wrong. No matter what comes after that, and you
Yeah.
could be talking about women's underwear.
Well, that's interesting because another of the things that is kind of troubling me is that I wrote this post on my Substack about how women can start speaking up towards men. And
Oh, yeah,
interestingly enough, I got a ton of positive feedback from women who are
sure.
like, "Yeah, I really struggle with this. Thank you for giving me language and courage and tools." And then a whole bunch of other women saying like, "Who the fuck are you to tell us
Yeah,
how to speak to men? Maybe you should be talking
right,
to men, right?
right,
Maybe you're part of the problem." And
right.
I'm like, "Oh God, what did I do?" Like I stepped on a minefield, and it's hard
Yeah,
as someone who's more public now to not step on minefields. But then if you don't every now and then take the risk, you're just you're
muted.
you're muted, and
Yeah,
you're just like regurgitating old safe posts that people are
right,
going to like.
right. Well, let me ask you this: do you think it works the other way? Meaning, like if a woman said, "Hey, here are," wait, what was your Substack about?
How women can speak up to men.
Okay, so if some woman wrote a post on how men should speak up or can't speak up to women, would that offend you? Like if it was reversed, would you say, "Don't tell men what to do," kind of thing?
Not really, because I'm
Yeah.
not a spokesperson for all men.
Well, what if there was a post, women saying non-negotiable, men should not wear short shorts? Would that offend
Well,
you?
I don't care what women are saying about men. I care when they say it to me. Like, you
Yeah.
shouldn't wear short shorts.
I think what it is the temperature of the landscape. I
Hmm.
think right now I don't know how to say this. I think men need to listen more and shut up.
Yeah,
I think
sure,
that's what's happening, and I think
sure.
that's fair. Just because, I mean, men have dominated basically forever. Um, because when I flip it, I, as a man, wouldn't get mad, but it's not the right. It's the time is not appropriate for men to say anything about women or toward or what they should be doing or not doing.
Yeah, and at the same time, my
Yeah.
audience is 90% women. Like I'm
Yeah.
speaking
Right.
to women, and on a daily basis, I get questions from women saying, "How do I say this? How do I do this? How do I bring up this thing to my partner, to my
Right.
male partner, without him blowing up?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, let me write a thing about that. Like here's
Yeah.
what you can do." But really, what I should be doing is writing to men about being less sensitive, turning their
Mm-hmm.
ego down,
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But no one's going to read it. Well, that's not true. Women are going to read it and be like, "Oh, maybe I could pass this on to my partner or to my brother or to my whatever."
You know what I think is the important piece, and you're actually proving it right now in real time, is that you care, right? So a lot of people would say, "Fuck that! I don't care what they're saying. I'm going to continue." And you're actually examining, you're actually reflecting, and saying, "Wait, did I do something wrong? How did I offend someone?"
Yeah.
That kind of speed bump I mean, that's being responsible, I think. So
Yeah, and it is affecting me. And I talked to my therapist about it, and she goes, "Yeah, you have to be careful. You have to be careful about what you say or write, but then also um, some of that criticism is going to help you become a better person, a better writer, a better helper, a better coach, all that stuff." And I'll
yeah,
be honest, when I wrote that thing, it took me hours to write. It took me like 8 hours. It was just like because it's
wow,
such a big topic,
right,
and I still knew that it was lazy writing. Like I
mm,
knew that I wasn't really taking into consideration all of the aspects that make it challenging for women to speak up to men. I was literally like,
mm,
"Here, this is a list of here's how we got here. Here's what you
right,
might be able to do." And the tone was a little flippant, it was a little tone deaf, and I knew it when I wrote it. And every time I've posted what I consider to be lazy writing, there's always some negative pushback.
yeah.
But then paradoxically, the most engaging posts that I've written, the ones that have led to the most subscriptions, the most comments, the most shares, are the ones that take me like an hour to write. And they're just like
Yeah. That's the way it is, man. I
they're
mean,
raw, they're authentic,
it's
they're
like that
just
with everything. Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
So I have to remember when I'm trying to write some big think piece to be like, well, chill out a little bit, and just like be more authentic about what you want to put out there.
I'll do a post or video or a podcast episode and think, okay, this is going to land and oh my God, this is going to blow up. This is going to go viral. And it's just crickets. And then I'll, put my ass in the sun and just whatever post it. And then suddenly, you know, hundreds of thousands of views.
Could you see
It's just,
okay, so what John's talking about is he posted a photo of himself sunning his taint from the side. You couldn't really see anything, but
no.
if you like looked with a soft focus, you might have seen like a ball sack for like a quarter second. And a lot
It,
of people didn't like it.
yeah, it
I
was
read
just
the
too much.
comments. It was pretty funny.
It's not what they signed up for.
Well,
It's
it's
not what
funny
they
when
signed up for.
it's happening to somebody else.
Speaking of ball sacks, did I tell you my journey on vasectomy? Having a vasectomy? I think I did.
No, nope. That's all news to me because you have a kid.
Yes, and I think this is actually important. I was going to talk about what that's like because men are terrified of it, but I think the numbers are going up and more men are doing it, obviously because of today's times,
Sure.
and there's also more of an expectation for men to do it. I think there's a misconception that it's so permanent and but it's not. You can reverse it. I don't know the stats on if you when you reverse it, if as far as being able to have children again, but I think most men don't do it because of the fear, and it's only a 15-minute surgery.
Yeah, it's real like it's like drive through, right? You just drive through.
No, you don't drive through.
You have to get out of the car.
You gotta get out of the yeah.
Okay.
Can you? How would they do a drive through? Just
And
go
just
through the
everything in
window?
the U.S.,
Oh
dude.
my
Drive
god!
through liquor store, drive through vasectomy. Did you feel do you feel like less of a man?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. No, but well, let me take you through it because I want to peel misconceptions.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
It's so it's not that it hurts. It's mentally terrifying. So they put you on, but I feel like every man should go through this, and I think every woman will be like, "Fuck yeah," because when they get a pap smear, you put your legs on those stirrups.
Yeah.
You're spread eagle on these metal things, right? And also a woman comes in, 2 nurses come in, and I'm my legs are open on these stirrups, and I'm just like, it's so vulnerable,
Yeah.
And a nurse comes in, and your stuff is just hanging out, and they've done this so many times, I don't care, and they just kind of grab it, they kind of numb stuff, and then the other nurse comes in, and she comes in with a fucking needle, dude, like a 6-inch needle to numb you.
Yeah. Into the base of your penis, right, or something.
It's the needle coming toward, everything goes into slow motion. It's the needle coming toward your growing area, where you, like a cat, you just grab the side of the chair, and you're like sweating. Now the needle's thin, you don't really feel, it's a poke, whatever, and I think it's on your testicles, but it's her coming at you with this needle, and it's that moment, it's that 5 seconds that is like sweat, terrifying. Just because the sensory of someone's going to stick a needle in your balls.
Did you get hard?
No, Sean, I did not get hard.
Can you imagine though? Wait, hold on. Just picture it. You got a bunch of nurses in there. You're spread eagle. She's coming at with the needle. You get hard.
I don't think they. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't think they would be offended. I think. Oh God, I'm scared to even say this now that we're talking about. I almost feel like they would be a compliment. Wouldn't it?
We can edit it out, but
I don't want to know. Fuck it, leave it in. I think.
I don't think it'd be a compliment. I think it would be like no.
Oh, because it's creepy. Because it's creepy.
Yeah.
It is creepy.
It's creepy. Yeah, I think it would just be
I'll read the comment section right now. Well, listen. I
keep going.
Right.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That is creepy. That is creepy. But sometimes men just get hard because of there's a breeze, or because it's a weird sensation. It's not always because they're turned on. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think as a younger person, it was like teens and early adults get or young men get like 14 unprovoked erections a day.
Yeah.
Unprovoked. Just all systems check. It's like a systems check. Is this thing working? Yeah. Can we go into battle if we need to? Yep.
But not a 51-year-old.
No. And so if you got hard during the vasectomy right before it, there'd be a cause for celebration, actually. You could tell them like, oh man, this never happens. Like, okay, I guess it still works.
Listen, the point of this podcast, Sean, is for us to check each other. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we need to leave that in, because that was me messing up, and then you saying, no, John, we could do better. That is creepy. Women would not get hard. Don't say that, because I was falling under conditioning from, I think, just locker rooms and I know you're like, what, John? What are you talking about? Locker rooms?
No. I know you grew up in locker rooms. I know that.
Well, just sports and stuff. But okay, so here's the other piece. They cut a little hole in your testicle. This is, and you're watching this. You're not under. You are watching this. 2 feet in front of you. They pull out, dude, a tube. It looks like a fun noodle.
Yeah.
And they cut it.
Yeah.
And then they have a soldering gun, and they solder it together.
Yeah.
And you could smell that.
Yeah.
It's not that it hurts. It's watching this happening. It's like, oh my God. And then when they're done, and you think they're done, like 5 minutes, then they say, okay, now we have to do the other testicle. And you're like, oh my. And then so the needle now goes into the other.
Oh, I didn't know they did 2 tests. They did each testicle.
They did both sides. Yeah.
I thought you could grab the tube somewhere else, on the exit.
No, they
merge.
Well, for me.
The tubes merge, and then, like a highway or something. And then you put
they pulled out the left tube and the right tube. I got to see the tube. I got to see where
the fun noodle.
Yeah, the fun noodle, that the
crazy straw.
And then and I had no idea that they use a soldering gun. And I was watching them with the soldering gun. I was like, is there something better than this that they could? But they just melt them. Yeah, that's
the height of medical advancement right there for vasectomies.
Yeah, but that's it. 15, 20 minutes, and then you're walking. You're a little sore, and then it's over.
Achy balls, right? For like a week or something.
Yeah. I don't think I sold it well for men to go get it, but it's just visually pretty terrifying.
This
What
was
you're watching.
after Logan, right?
Yeah, of course. After Logan, we were one and done, and you know what? There was a part of me that's like, women are on birth control. This has always been mostly like women doing stuff. I was like, I need to do something. It's not that big of a deal. And so I took initiative, made the appointment, and so my partner didn't have to be on birth control and deal with all the
Oh, I
hormones.
mean, I think that's great. I think the more things men can do so that women don't have to take hormonal birth control, or
Yeah,
even an IUD can be very invasive. You're like
yeah.
putting a piece of copper or plastic in the cervix. So I think when the male birth control pill comes out eventually, or
Hmm.
some sort of intervention, I think that's going to be really great. Condoms are always an option, even though people really hate them. I feel like sex with a condom is better than no sex at all. That's kind of how I
Yeah,
look at condoms.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think people think that it's more invasive and irreversible than it is vasectomies. But some of them are like I had a friend who got one and then tried to reverse it and they weren't able to get pregnant. But we're not sure if that's because of him or because of her, because she's like
yeah.
a uber athlete. So she's
Right.
like a
So
super CrossFitter, and so there
yeah,
might be
yeah,
like
yeah.
some, and he's who knows, he's a CrossFitter. I don't know.
Mm.
But so there are some risks, but probably less than we think there are.
Um, I just think it's time that men take more responsibility other than bringing a condom, especially if you're in a long-term relationship.
Oh,
Men have really done nothing when it comes to birth control.
I mean, if you're in a long-term relationship and you don't want kids, then yeah, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
why would you not get a vasectomy?
Because men are scared and they're scared and terrified, and it's not a valid reason
It's also
because they
not
don't.
full. None of them are like 100%. You can still get a little swimmer coming in, finding a way somehow, I
Yeah,
think.
sure, of course,
And
but
same
I
thing
think
with,
it's like is birth control 100%? It's like 90 something.
yeah, no, they always have to leave room for
Yeah.
mistakes.
Yeah. I just think it's fair. It's a good time. I think I know I didn't sell it well, but if you're listening, you're a man and you're on the fence, go get it done. Go get it done. 15 minutes. Um yeah, close your eyes then.
I'm wondering if we can give them like a bonus or something, like show us a receipt for a vasectomy and you get like
Oh,
a
a discount code.
discount code or something to a retreat or to a
I
free
don't know if
course or
that's
something.
going to yeah, I don't know if I don't know if that dangling carrot is big enough for men to being like I'm going to get one now because Sean and John are giving me, a free video course.
You never know.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
So do
right.
you feel like less of a man? You didn't answer that.
Man, I haven't sat with that piece. I don't. It's you know what I feel. I actually I feel more of a man. Well, because my definition of man is different today. Is 51. If I was in my 30s, maybe. But I feel more of a man because I feel like real men take responsibility. I'm not someone in my life who has taken a lot of responsibility. I've been irresponsible with a lot of things, and so um, this is something that I kind of can be proud of. I got snipped, and that was my idea. I made the appointment. Vanessa didn't tell me. She didn't harp on me. It was my thing. I did it, and I took some responsibility.
Cool. Yeah. Wait, what if, I mean, I just want to make a joke about how you also took the responsibility of fixing the droopy sink nozzle thing in your house.
Oh. Damn.
Vanessa didn't say anything. Sean
Damn.
didn't help
Oh,
you.
what? Wow. You're an elephant. Your memory, Sean. Your memory is holy shit. This is.
I'm very observational.
Uh,
That's like one thing that I've noticed, or
I
people bring up a lot.
Is it your memory, or are you like keeping points? What is going on? I was
No, I'm just
thinking,
making connections. Bing bang boom boom. Always making
no, you're not,
connections.
man. You want this because I try to take it from you. Okay, so we have a sink in our house, and the nozzle's droopy. It's like
It's
there's like a 4-inch. It's one of those hoses that the sink where the hoses you could pull it out, and I don't know anything about fixing shit, right? I just throw money at it, call someone. And Sean was over at my house, and he noticed that the nozzle was droopy. And I think he made a comment, and I was like, "Yeah, Sean, I don't know how to fix this thing, man. We just deal with it." And then he's like, well, let's look at this. So he goes under the sink and he's like, oh, it needs a weight. He's like, you could just buy a weight on Amazon. He gave me the solution. I had no idea that you just put a weight on the back. By the way, speaking of, technology, like that's so primitive.
It really is. It's very primitive.
It sounds like Flintstones, right? And so I go on Amazon, and sure enough, there's 1,000 sink weights. And so I bought one. I put it on, and I didn't say that Sean told me this. I told Vanessa, hey, look what I did. Because I knew that, she's all acts of service. I knew she'd be very impressed. So I said, Vanessa, look at this. Do you notice anything different about the sink? And she was like, oh my gosh, you fixed that? I didn't have to tell you. You figured it out. It's like, yep, did it all by myself. I did not give Sean any credit. I did not give Sean any credit.
I don't need the credit. It's just a funny story.
Obviously, you do need the credit.
It's
Obviously, you do need the credit.
Maybe I do. But maybe we're just trying to connect, funny stories. That's all. I don't know.
Yeah, but well, now I'm going public with it. So, Sean, that was Sean's idea. That was Sean's solution. I did not do that myself.
Maybe I have a bigger ego than I think I do. And maybe I need more validation than I think I do.
You know what I was thinking is, so Sean does a lot of videos in his bed. And he does it in his bed. I believe not to be sexy, although it's very sexy. I think he's doing it because he's taking naps, right? Sean's a big napper, and so I did a few in my bed because I was trying to nap. And then I was thinking, am I being competitive? Men have this whole competitive thing, and I was thinking, it's one thing to be competitive, which is fair and fun, but if you don't announce that you're competing, then it's like weird. And so I had this moment where on today's podcast, I was because I have a fancy camera. So, I'm assuming you're using your webcam. Are you using a webcam? Okay. Yeah. So we're equal here. We're using webcams. I have a 5K or a 3K. I don't know what it's called, but I have a fancy camera that you could stick into the computer and my picture would be more crisp. I didn't do that because then I thought, okay, it's going to show like I'm being more competitive. I'm trying to appear better than Sean. So I didn't plug that in. That'd be sneaky.
Well, first of all, I think imitation is the greatest form of flattery. And also we're always taking cues from other people.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I look at your stuff and I go, all right, well, what's performing really well that I can do? That's like human nature, right? How do we improve? We take other people's ideas and we take the best pieces of it and then we try to implement them ourselves. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Number two, you probably don't know this because you didn't know about the hidden folder last week, but you can take your iPhone and use it as a camera for your laptop.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they sell like a little clip and you can clip your phone to your computer, like right on top like this.
Oh,
and it uses the super high quality cameras on the back of it So if you had plugged in your 4K, I would have plugged in my phone.
Exactly. Because men are competitive.
I don't, do you feel very competitive in your life?
Only in the CrossFit box. In the CrossFit box, I am so competitive. It's almost comical. I almost hurt myself. I have rope climbing. I always have scratches and stuff. I don't know what it is. You do too.
I got a flapper. You got a flapper list. Finally, my first flapper.
What's a flapper?
That's when you rip the callus and it flaps.
Yeah, for pull-ups and stuff. I've had thousands of those. I'm not competitive pretty much anywhere else with men or anyone. Vanessa would argue because Vanessa and I are both kind of competitive people, but my competitiveness shows in the CrossFit box and also on motorcycles. So if we're on dirt bikes or if someone challenges me, then yes, I get very competitive, which I should not.
We should like do a dirt bike thing, like a dirt bike day or whatever.
Yeah.
Rent dirt bikes and tear around the track and
I'm always down for that.
Get hurt, compete a little bit.
Yeah, that's a fun competition.
Okay. Do we have callers? What's up? I got questions.
No, we have questions.
Okay, cool. No callers.
No callers today.
Okay, I have a surprise for you next week. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. It's pretty exciting. My producer is coming out.
Coming out?
Yeah, like the producer in me is coming out.
Oh, I thought you meant your producer's coming out of the closet and she's going to do it here on our podcast.
No,
No,
I don't have a producer.
no, I know. That's why I was confused.
Yeah, now we have a producer. That's the surprise. Ooh, that would
And
be awesome. We're not
we
there
will.
yet.
Well,
Yeah,
we will one day.
Yeah, we
we'll
will.
have a producer and see.
And we'll have a Jamie too.
I feel like I dropped the ball because I totally forgot that. Was it my turn to get live callers? Do you want live callers? But also, do you want them the way that you do it or I do it?
I think here's the thing, everybody listening. John and I don't really talk between calls, between podcasts.
Yes, and you know what? This is actually interesting. I enjoy it because then I'm excited to talk to you. I almost forget that we're doing a podcast, and I think that actually is good because I'm excited to catch up with you by the time we talk.
Likewise.
I mean, we text here and there, but we actually don't talk. We don't like get on the phone or anything.
No, we do text a lot. We should talk about that. I think we should keep giving it a shot. I don't think we're ready to give up on live callers.
Yeah, let's. I wanna do it your way because that was very pro.
Okay. Well, my way is actually it's pretty easy too.
Okay.
So we'll just do that next week.
Next week is you're saying you have a surprise for me, so I won't handle next week, but the following week I'll handle.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. Next week we'll do the surprise, and then the week after that we'll do live callers.
Got it.
In a new way. Okay. I have a question. Go ahead. You ready?
Yep. Do it.
So this is not a question that I receive, but it's a question that I get on a regular basis, and I think it's really important for us to discuss. How do you feel about vibrators and toys during sex?
Oh, all for it.
All for it.
In my 20s and I would say early 30s, I felt intimidated. I felt if I need a tool to satisfy quote unquote my women, then this is not wrong. I mean, this is wrong, and I like we shouldn't need those things. What am I not enough? Right. So I had those kind of thoughts. And then at I think early 40s, I was in a relationship for 3 years, and we played with all the toys, and I was like, oh, this is a whole new world.
Yeah.
And I saw the experience. I felt the experience and what she got out of it, and I realized, oh, they're just tools. It's advancement. It's like what. And so I attached my ego from it, and now I'm all about it. Now I think it's great.
Yeah, I heard someone say the toys they're not your enemy; they're your ally.
Yes,
they're on your side. They're on the side
you're not
of
competing.
No, they're on the side of pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
I always found toys to be, fun and playful, and something that you can add. They can add to your sex life. And I never felt threatened by them, and I actually felt like, oh, this is actually reduces pressure on me. Like it's not all about. It's not.
Well, we don't want to get lazy. We don't want to get lazy, Sean. But
we don't want to get lazy. But we also don't need the pressure of like having to please someone all the time. I mean, it's especially if the toy gets them there.
Let's put it this way: every time I've used a toy, specifically a vibrator, the person's orgasm not only faster, but I mean exponentially, whatever, more powerful. Right. So like, you're going to strip someone of that because of your ego. Now, let me ask you this. Are there certain toys you won't use? Because the stage before I went from no toy to now all in, I would consider so I was all in with vibrators, but then I found myself hesitant with realistic looking dildos.
Oh.
Because maybe they were prettier than mine, maybe they were bigger than mine, maybe they were different color, and so because then I thought to myself, oh, now it feels like she's with someone else. Now I think it's hot.
Nice.
Now I think it's hot that I'm fantasizing about her being with someone else. Before I was intimidated. So it's like before I drew the line where it's like, okay, we'll do vibrators, we'll do whatever, handcuffs, we can do all these toys, bring in a whip, I don't care, but we can't bring in dildos because they're too realistic, or it's going to feel like you're having sex with multiple men or whatever. That was the immature, insecure John. Today I'm like, dude, that's hot.
I mean, I love that you admit this. That's something that I love about you. And I want to say that you do really, really well is that you're like totally open to discuss like how you've changed for the better.
Yeah.
The idea that you would get intimidated or threatened by like a silicone penis.
Do you know how real those feel, Sean? Those things feel those things feel so real.
Yeah,
Hold
I
one in your
know,
hand.
John. I have a
Yeah.
huge black one that's like
No,
12
you
or 4. I do.
Oh, do you?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
dude, of
Okay.
course. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And
I
not
have
only that, it's huge.
Wow.
It's huge,
Dude,
and I've used it on myself. So
wait, hold on. So you're complimenting me on my honesty, and then I don't know. Are you competing with me because your honesty is like next level, right? I'm just saying like, hey, this is my past, and then you take it like, well, I have a 14-inch black dildo that I use on myself. I'm like, oh my god.
Okay, well, hold on. First of all, I don't use it on myself often. I have. It's just a
Right.
little too big, and also I
Yeah.
don't really love the feeling of being penetrated anally. Like I've tried it so many times, and it's just
I've
like
never tried it.
can't really get there. We can talk
Yeah.
about like, and I'd love to help you get there. But so when I disclose something, it's more for shock value, right?
Oh.
I've got a
But it's
14-inch
still, you're
black
not
dildo.
lying. You're not lying. You're being honest.
I am. When you disclose something, it feels way more vulnerable and raw, right? Like you're
Really?
admitting that you had like some ego stuff and that you didn't want your partner to use realistic looking dildos and that was threatening to you. Like that's more vulnerable than me saying I got pounded by a 14-inch black dildo.
I don't know. I would struggle with something so personal, disclosing that I have a 12-inch dildo that I've used on myself. That, I mean, I guess it's a shock value there, but it's so personal. I
I
mean,
think
I
you'd
look, I applaud it. I think it's great.
more than
I
anything, I think you'd struggle taking it.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Sean, I would not do well in prison. I look like a 12-year-old boy naked, and
I
I
mean, dude, again, that's an old story, John. No,
that's
no.
also that is no story.
That's an old
That is,
story, dude.
yeah,
The guy,
yeah.
I mean, you're like you're shirtless half the
I
time on
I know.
Instagram. You're
I don't
fucking
see
ripped. You
I
got
don't see myself that way.
jailhouse tats. You know, you're not the 12-year-old bowl cut
I know. I
Korean
know.
kid
Okay.
whose
Okay.
parents owned a
Okay.
bodega. All right.
I live in Los Angeles. They're called liquor stores. In New York, they're called bodegas.
I got it. Yeah, I got
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
You're different. You're
Yeah. If
different
you want to
now.
see a bodega in LA, just tap my bio link. I sell pagers, hubcaps, fucking texts. It goes on forever. But
Oh,
anyway,
but hold on, real quick.
yeah.
You in prison? I'm trying to picture it. You'd have to go in there because the way you look right now, I think you could look like you're some sort of like Asian gangster, like a mafia dude.
No, I
You
don't see
connected.
Sean. I don't see myself this way.
I know,
Hey,
but you would have to if you got into prison. You'd have to hit him hard and quick so that you didn't let that little
yeah.
boy out. You can't show them that.
I don't know how to fight. I mean, I would just be like, let's do burpees for time or talk
Dude,
about feelings.
wall ball, but
Well,
the ball is their head. Okay, that's
all
how
right.
you
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah.
You're too sweet.
I had
I would get
you know what
fucked in jail. I would get just destroyed in prison as well. I just want to be clear there.
I think because I don't have any body hair, and I think because I've done so many squats, I've a little bit of a booty. I just think that I can get taken advantage of very fast.
Yeah, I know, but because you've done so many squats, you have really tight posterior chain. You could probably lock that thing in, like lock it down in a way
Oh
that
my gosh.
others can't.
All right.
Okay, Tess, cut this
listener,
out. Cut this
no,
out.
no, leave it in. Leave it in. It's okay to swerve a little bit. Come on, we can.
Okay, I
it's
just want
yeah,
the
yeah.
listeners to know that when we tell Tess to cut it out, she's not cutting anything out. It's just a joke. There's been nothing cut out of this except for the weird technical glitches.
And you know what, man? I love that. I love it. It's like, and that's what makes it raw. I don't like hiding behind things. What I also love about Sean is he does wear the producer hat, where he takes a fine tooth comb to this, and if it sounds bad or whatever, he has Tez fix it, which I really appreciate, because it always I don't notice those things, which is why our podcast has a 4.9 review. and my podcast has a 4.6. Speaking of competitions.
Speaking of reviews, if you're listening to this right now and you haven't left a review on Apple Podcasts, it makes a huge difference. And we have to get to 1,000 before we can start shopping this so that John and I can keep doing this. So if you love this and you want to keep it going, go to Apple Podcasts, leave a star rating, drop a review. John, I looked this week to see if there were any bad reviews so that we could read them, and there were none. They were all good.
So here's the danger in this. Here's the danger in this, right? And if you own an Airbnb, it's the same thing with reviews. When we get our first bad one, I'm sure we will, it's going to hurt so much because we don't have a lot of bad reviews.
Well, we did. We got some last week.
Well, I'll tell you what. So we're at a 4.9. And listen, if you're a perfectionist, I'm not. That would bother people because they're like, fuck, we should be at a 5, but we're at a 4.9. If that drops to a 4.6, it's going to hurt. There's going to be something. I think more you than me. I don't know. But it hurts.
It's not going to a 4.6. I will hire like hundreds of thousands of bots to blast it back to 4.9. It's just never going to happen.
Well, when my podcast went from 4.9 to 4.6, I was very hurt. And then I was like, and Vanessa was like, John, quit slurping your fucking coffee. It's not your content, man. You're slurping coffee and there's parrots. And I said, you're right.
I mean, did you read the comments? They'll probably tell you what you could do to improve.
That's what she said. She went and read some, and she's like, John, it's because you're slurping. And
amazing.
But I couldn't take it back. And so now I'm stuck at a 4.6. But also, look, as your audience grows, not everyone's people are going to have some opinions. And so it's harder as your audience grows to keep it at a 4.9. It's just harder.
Yeah. You can mute the mic, right? You don't have to like go in the other room to sip your coffee.
I know, man, but I've been using coffee as a pacifier when I talk since therapy school. And so if I get like, okay, let's have a conversation, I have to have the coffee in my hand, and I forget that sometimes, I slurp it and all that stuff.
That's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a question for me?
Yes.
We did well. Yeah. Actually, we didn't. We barely fucking scratched the surface of that question. Guys, you gotta stop feeling threatened about toys.
Yes.
Your partner wants an orgasm. They're entitled to an orgasm as much as you are. If you have a female partner, they're coming way less than you are, right? Men come like 98% of the time during sex. Women, it's like 50 or 60, and it goes way up for lesbian couples, right? Which means the contributing factor is the man for the most part. So, dude, suck it up. Use the toys, ask them what they want in bed, make sure they come. That's all you really have to do, right? Like, they love you. They want to fuck you. They also want to come. That's it.
Yeah.
PSA.
I love that, man. I love that you put the hammer down with that. I also wonder if there's a cultural aspect to this, meaning I know some exes who've had specifically Hispanic and other type of men they're with, and maybe also Korean, Asian, because of culture of machismo and what a man looks like. It ripples into the bedroom, and for a lot of cultures, that's like a huge no. Like, it's a blow to the ego, and so
machismo is intimacy killer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know what to tell you other than get a different partner. I don't know. That's not good, right? Some people are like in it for life with these machismo people. How do they solve that?
Yeah. Here's a fun question.
Okay, we don't know. Basically, that's the answer.
Yeah. Well,
next.
We don't know. It's kind of not your responsibility, your journey. You could express how that machismo is impacting your relationship, but it's up to him,
Yeah.
Are we supposed to let men chase us? How to do and remain honest and authentic?
Oh man.
Is he referring to like kind of like the old school, like men should be the one to approach women? I don't know what she's referring to, but that's the question.
Men are hunters, right? This is the energy behind this question. Men are hunters. Women, I guess that makes them prey, which is kind of a weird imagery. But the idea is that women should be leaning back and should not be chasing men. Men should be chasing women. Yeah. They should be telling them that they're interested in them. They should be sort of moving the ball forward. And if women start to chase, then men will lose interest.
Yeah, so that I think that's an old blueprint.
I think it's an old blueprint that's a lot of people still adhere to
Oh
or
yeah,
use.
yeah. I mean, I would just even thinking about the female friends in my life. Half of them will not go up to a man, and I'm like, why? Here's someone you find attractive. Go, go, go. They won't. Like, no. If he wants me, he'll come. He'll come to me.
Yeah,
And
if
I
he
feel
wanted
like they
to,
miss out on opportunities.
if he wanted to, he would. That's the sentiment behind this,
Yeah,
right? So
but
he must not want to.
that's not fair. It's not true. He may want to, but he also may be scared like you.
And here's the other piece of that argument is I don't want to be with a man who doesn't initiate in his relationships. And so if I tell him that I want him, then I'm taking the masculine position and I will always be chasing after this dude and like in my masculine and in action when I really want to be in my feminine, in my receiving
Yes.
energy
Okay.
and all that stuff.
So I get that in a relationship where there could be a lot of that as far as relationship dynamic. I'm just talking about two people at a bar or swiping or wherever you are, just expressing, "Hey, I find you attractive." It's not chasing to me. It's assertive.
Yeah. I
You
agree
know.
with you. Actually, I think that in the very early stages, you have to let somebody know that you're into it. You have to let men
Yeah.
know that you're into it because I think what's happened with Me Too is that now men are terrified. Some
Oh,
men,
sure. Yeah.
some men,
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
men don't give a fuck, and
Right. Right.
they'll be fine, and we don't have to worry about them. Other men are just terrified of being creepy or perceived as creepy, and they're also scared of rejection, and so they're just going to lean back and they're not going to do anything unless they know that it's going to be well received, right? Because they want to be respectful. I did a poll on Instagram where I asked women, would you want to be approached in public by a
Hmm.
man? Half of them said, under no circumstance should you ever fucking approach me. Do
Yeah.
not do it. The other half were like, please do it. I'm
Right.
begging you.
So just knowing that we're talking about flipping a coin, um, the fear of me getting rejected would get me to not do it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
wonder if there's a way to meet halfway. What would that look like? I guess some
Well,
eye contact and
well, that's old school courtship, right?
yeah.
Maintaining some eye contact, a little smile, drop the handkerchief,
No one carries a handkerchief.
But you know
Drop
what
the
I mean, though.
handkerchief.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it's nonverbal, but it does require courage, right? It does require courage. But usually it's the woman who's like demure, but who gives like the okay non-verbally, and then the man kind of like pulls himself up by his britches and musters up the courage and says, "Hey, milady," and like initiates conversation. That's like sort of the old school way.
Listen, if I was at a coffee shop or a bar, a woman walked up to me and said, "Hey, I find you attractive," and just was blunt. Are you single or do you want to go out? That would that would be the biggest. I would love that. I would be that would like be the. It wouldn't turn me off in any way. It would be such a compliment. It would be like, oh my god, the courage. I mean, it'd be that to me. It doesn't. I don't find that as someone who's chasing or aggressive. I think that's now if she followed me home, that might be a little aggressive, but
Put an air tag on your car.
yeah. But just walking up to someone and expressing, "Hey, I find you," I like that. I guess because it doesn't happen in our society a
Yeah,
lot.
I don't know how realistic that is, man. It's like, first of all, they're
No.
coming up to you just because they want to go out with you just because they think you're attractive, or they don't know anything about you. You could be a total asshole. You could like it's if you flip the script, it becomes way less appropriate for a man to go up to a woman and say, "Hey, I think you're attractive. Are you single?" Which is funny. This is the stuff I used to teach. I used to teach this thing called the 1, 2, 3,
Mm,
which is you go up to someone, you say, "Hey, you're cute. You look interesting. Are you single? Do you want to go have coffee or something?"
right.
Um, but you don't know anything about them
Right.
other
You're
than
just
the fact that
going
they're
on,
pretty.
yeah, or they're attractive physically, or maybe it's an energy. It might be an energy, or I don't
It
know.
could be energetic. So
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to this. I think this is so tough. I think we want to let other people know that we're interested in them by initiating conversation.
Well, my answer is I personally think more women should go up to men because they have been kind of conditioned not to, or this is what a woman looks like. I say fuck that. I say go up to men, go up to anyone you find attractive, and be assertive. You could be assertive without being creepy. You could be
Yeah.
respectful. You could be. It's a compliment. Yeah.
And I think you could say, yeah, I find you attractive. I find you attractive. Yeah, it's not you're beautiful. It's I find you attractive. It's just kind of different. Yeah, no, I like it. I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to tip the scales or like flip the polarity thing, and I don't think it has to be any more complicated than that.
Yeah, and also this is very different than a relationship dynamic
Yeah.
where there's a chasing dynamic or and so if you're going to use that as that doesn't play well here because we're just talking about initial connection, right? We're not talking about building a relationship, which is a whole different. It's apples and oranges.
Yeah. Cool. I got I have a different kind of question here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a hall pass with Vanessa for like a celebrity or an actress?
Oh yeah, this is a great question. We haven't really discussed it. Discussed it? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought okay. We haven't really discussed it. Okay, I
Yeah,
was thinking
no,
about
totally
that's
perfect
great.
English.
Okay,
Yep.
51. I have a master's.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
he grew up speaking Korean, so
it's not true. It's not true. I always say that. I always say that because I find myself, dude. You know what it is? Just real quick. I know this is a little bit of bird walking. Because of technology, we don't exercise that part of our brain anymore. You know, I realized the other day when I was signing a check, and I was like, "When's the last time I've written something by hand, like a letter?" Sean, it's got to be like 20 years. It's going to be like 30 years.
honestly, I don't think my wrist could take it.
And then so I started writing, and it's unlegible. I can't read it because
Yeah.
it's completely out of practice because everything is keyboard now. And I think I don't know something. I think my brain's fucked up where we just don't practice or like vocabulary or like like typos. I don't know how to spell anymore because I don't need to. You know,
Yeah.
when's the
Yeah,
last time we've done math with calculators? So I think
the guy does 1,000 burpees, can't write a letter.
that's
You know?
me. That is
Like
me.
your wrist hurts. My wrist hurts when I try to write a letter, you know?
No, it's not that it hurts. It's that the muscle memory of making the letters is gone. I don't know how to what is it called? What is it called? Handwriting?
Yeah, cursive.
Cursive, yeah. See the words even disappearing, like like Michael J. Fox.
It's Michael J. Fox. Yeah, right. It's in Back to
Yeah,
the Future.
when he couldn't get his parents together.
That's right.
Yeah, so I can't do cursive anymore. It's because I haven't practiced in 40 years. And I feel like that with when I speak. But anyway, fuck. Whoa.
Great movie though, by the way.
Oh
Back to
my
the
god.
Future.
They say that's a perfect movie. It's one of those. There's like 5 or 6 perfect movies, and that's one of them. It's a perfect. There's nothing to change.
Yeah.
At least the first one.
Well, it wasn't. I just read recently on Reddit that it wasn't even supposed to be Michael J. Fox. They had somebody else.
It was Eric Stoltz.
And they shot like half of it,
Yep.
and then they changed him. And a lot of the scenes you can see from the back, it's not Michael J. Fox, it's Eric.
Dude, can you imagine being that guy? Can you? No, I mean, we're talking about fucking going from a 4.9 to a 4.6 and how that would hurt our feelings. Can you imagine?
They canceled this podcast. Yeah.
You book a movie, you're the lead. You start filming. I mean, you've already signed contracts where you're making millions or whatever. There might be action figures made. And a couple weeks into they're like, yeah, you're not good. We're going to fire you. Holy shit. I can't imagine how do you survive that as an actor?
I don't know. Did he?
He got some parts. He got some kind of wonderful. I mean, he never turned into a Michael J. Fox though. He never became a star.
Teen Wolf, dude.
Yeah, and then also the TV show, not Growing Pains.
Cheers. No.
Family Ties.
Yeah.
Before all of this, because now we've swam too far to turn back. What were we talking about, dude? Because you have the memory, not me.
Hall pass, bro.
Oh, that's right. Oh, thank God you're here, Sean. Vanessa's gonna laugh if she ever hears this. She doesn't listen to my shit. Listen, I do this thing as a challenge where we're having a conversation, not with clients. I do it with this kind of stuff where I challenge myself to hold on with one hand and see how far I can go and then come back. And a lot of times I don't remember a lot of times I'm just drifting like a buoy. And so it's great that you're here because I don't have to hold on to shit because you are.
Yeah.
And so
I will.
We're talking about Michael J. Fox in movies, and then within a second, Boom, hall pass.
Well, it
Now
was the
we're done.
hand, right? The handwriting. I don't even know how we got from the hall pass to the handwriting, writing a check, and then
Yeah, I
like,
don't know, but that I like doing that as a challenge to see if I could come back. Many times I can't come back, but with you here, you're my safety, you're my life jacket.
well,
We can
next
come
time
back.
I'll give you a little bit more slack and see if you can get there.
Oh, that would be fun. That
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
fun
I think
because
it'll
we
be
would be going
hilarious.
from I mean, we'd be end up talking about crickets and all random fucking bears and weird shit. The hall pass. So for me, we were at a art show a couple years ago, and Vanessa saw who's the lead singer from Incubus.
Sorry, dude.
He's some hot musician.
Oh,
I don't know anymore, but he was. And she went crazy. She's like, "Oh my god!" And again, in my 20s and 30s, of course not. Now as a 51-year-old, I think I would be like, "Dude, that's your you've had a crush on this guy forever? Yeah, go. That there's an opportunity there. I would say go do it. I would say go do it. Um, anyone that you have, anyone that's kind of a lottery ticket, any experience that could be once in a lifetime. I don't think she's gonna fall in love with.
Brandon Boyd.
Yes, yes, very attractive. Are you looking at him now?
I mean,
I
yeah.
mean, musician. I mean,
Yeah, and a
dark.
musician in like a kind of, thin, tatted up musician kind
Yeah,
of way. Yeah.
yeah. I'm not Vanessa's type. She used to like the tall, thin musicians. I'm like, I'm like stocky and stuff.
So who's your hall pass?
Oh God,
I
I
didn't
would have to do an update. I don't know
I
who
didn't
my
even know
hall
I was
pass.
going to get Vanessa's hall pass.
Well, the question was you were asking me, is our hall passes okay? I thought that was the question.
No, the question is, who is your hall pass?
Oh, who is my oh shit? I
Yeah.
answered. Well, I think hall passes are kind of okay, more okay now than ever. At least for me. I know for
Okay.
most people they are not.
That's nice.
Who would be my hall pass? I don't. You know what, dude? I don't think it would be a celebrity.
Oh, it's like the barista down the corner.
Yeah, I actually get turned on more, or like to me the fantasy is, yeah, I don't think a celebrity would be a fantasy, although I'm trying to think of. I need a celebrity update because I'm so out of the loop.
I know you're going to say Heather Locklear.
I could say she's like 70. Yeah, the woman from Weird Science that they made
Right.
so that would
Yeah,
be a
yeah.
hall pass. Yeah, she's now 93. I definitely need a celebrity update now, obviously, but to me the fantasy is like having a hall pass with someone. There's something like almost like something like you shouldn't be with this person. So I don't know if it's a barista, a server. I know with like a lot of women firefighters are very hot to them.
Montreal cops are hot.
Yeah, so I don't know what that would be for me.
All right, well,
Teachers, I don't know.
just think about it this week. Come back because like we need a name,
Well, who would be your hall pass?
Natalie Portman.
Nah, see, I feel like that's everyone's. I feel like there needs to be an update.
I mean,
Still,
I've had the hots for Natalie Portman since I was like, 12 years old or something. She's also I think she's single now.
oh,
And I was thinking maybe getting on Raya.
oh, you think she's in there? I don't think she's in there. I think you would have to go through agents to get to Natalie Portman.
No, I think I'd probably go through one of her friends.
We saw her, Vanessa and I.
How was it?
Vanessa did karaoke with her.
See, you see, I don't need her agent. I'm telling you, I'm like 1 degree away from Natalie Portman.
I mean, that was years ago, but yes, she's her name comes up a lot when it comes to fantasy crush crushes.
Celebrity crush. She's a
Yeah,
celebrity
yeah.
crush. But I don't get hall passes. I don't need one because I'm single.
Yeah, you don't need a pass. You're right. You're good.
I don't need a pass. No.
Yeah.
Oh, I will say that I went to a rave this weekend. That's also why I think I'm tired because I'm still recovering from going out until 4 a.m. It was really fun.
God, I can't imagine doing that.
I left my house at midnight.
Oh, and you got home at 4?
I got home at 4. I was in bed all evening just preparing to leave the house.
And what kind of rave? Warehouse? What was happening?
Warehouse in Montreal. UK DJ, Ben UFO, Bouncy Castle in the chill space.
Oh, like a kid's bouncing, but for adults?
Small, yeah, but small, tiny bouncy castle.
Mm,
Free water, free candy, lots of people on MDMA. No glow
yeah.
sticks. No glow sticks. People doing drugs openly. Some guy tried to talk to me. He was like on drugs, and I was like, I just told him like, no, it's fine, dude. We don't have to talk, because he was like, couldn't form a sentence.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's okay. I just gave him a thumbs up and a little pat on the back and told him everything was going to be okay.
This sounds like a nightmare to me.
It
A
was
complete
fun.
nightmare.
I went with a friend. We made out. We danced.
I want to hear about this, but I have a heart out.
Okay, bye.
I have to be in a
Hey,
Zoom.
everybody.
Yes.
Have a beautiful week.
Have a beautiful week. And John, please remember, next episode, Sean made out with someone at a rave. Imprint that in your head.
And celebrity crushes. And
update.
I got
we need to update. And yeah, I want you to bring one up that's not Natalie Portman, because I already knew about that.
I can do that. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Listen, be well.